Today's episode of The Mom Game is brought to you by our friends at Gateway Buick GMC at LBJ and Jupiter. I know that buying a car can be stressful, but not at Gateway because their slogan is, Gateway's got it. And just what does that mean? Well, it means Gateway's got a wide selection of new Buicks, GMCs, and GM-certified used vehicles, all competitively priced. Gateway's got it. In these busy times, you want a car dealer who makes things easy and convenient. Well, guess what? Gateway's got it. When you log on to gatewaybuickgmc.com, look for the Shop, Click, Drive button. This allows you to shop from the comfort of your home, and who doesn't want that? In fact, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, select your vehicle. 2, create your offer. 3, schedule your delivery. And on top of all this, Gateway Buick GMC offers complimentary car washes for life. So when you want a dealer who has it all, Gateway's got it. You can find them online at gatewaybuickgmc.com or shop in person at LBJ and Jupiter. GMC, we are professional grade. Experience the new Buick. And welcome into the Coppola studio for episode 211 of the Mom Game 211. I'm Emily Jones. She's Julie Dobbs. I'm going to drink Coppola wine out of a glass today,
Okay, good.
Julie.
We're moving on up.
I went
We're moving on up in
straight
the
from the
world.
bottle last week.
Uh-huh.
Today I'm just going to keep it classy and pour it in a glass.
bet
And
Coppola appreciates that.
do you think they do? Do you think when they say please drink responsibly, responsibly?
That's
Do you
what they
think,
mean?
yeah, when they say please drink responsibly, it's like pour it in a glass and sip it like a
Probably.
a normal human.
Yeah, probably.
Instead of, taking a swig out of a bottle.
Yeah.
But either way, it's so good you don't have to put it in a glass.
That's right.
You can if you want.
It is good.
So yeah, here we are.
Something to grab to ahead of Easter,
I
right?
know. Oh yeah.
If you're
Oh my
going
gosh,
somewhere,
Easter's this Sunday.
Yeah, it snuck up
Yeah.
on me. But we just got a text about going somewhere on Easter. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna bring a bottle of Coppola.
Yeah.
Bottle of red probably for
Yeah.
a nice Easter dinner.
Yeah.
Um,
Or you could bring like the sparkling rosé. for the
Yeah.
little-
Oh, yeah.
little
something,
pre-gaming.
something. Yeah. Always good to have on hand. Thank
Yeah.
you so much to Coppola.
For sure. Yeah. Okay, what's going on?
Nothing. Just
Nothing.
work.
I know.
Just work. We've had grandparents in town, which is nice. They're leaving tomorrow, and just trucking along. We're getting ready for a Mexico trip next week.
I know. So wait, is everyone going? Kids too?
Kids, yep.
Okay.
Kids are going.
And this is for Kelly's dad's.
70th birthday.
Okay.
Yep. Grandpa's 70th birthday, and he lives in Mexico half the year.
Okay, whereabouts in Mexico?
Cabo. San Jose del Cabo.
Okay.
He lives. And we're going to stay like halfway in between San Jose and Cabo. San Jose is about 30 minutes from actual Cabo San Lucas.
Okay.
So we're staying kind of like right in the middle in a house with family with Kelly's brother and his wife and their 2 kids who have kids the exact same ages as our kids, just boy then girl, girl then boy. And they're all really cute and close, and we love them, and we just never get to see them because they're all the way up in Canada. We haven't seen them in like a year and a half. So to all be in a house together for a week in Mexico is just going to be so fun.
Yeah.
So
it's just y'all's so your Kelly's brother's family and your family
Huh?
and then parents.
and then Kelly's
Kelly's
dad
dad and
and
stepmom.
his girlfriend. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll all just be there hanging out.
No, fun. Good for
I know.
you.
Yeah.
That'll be a fun.
Yeah.
Have your kids ever been to Mexico?
Ryder has. He's
Okay.
been to Cabo, like with the same group, but back with his grandma before she passed away.
Okay.
And then her mom. So his grandma and his great grandma, he actually went to Cabo with. And he was little, but he remembers it, I think. Anna, poor Anna, was born during COVID, and then mom got a new job and then another new job since she was born. And so she just hasn't done much.
Stuff.
She gets really excited to go anywhere, like in the car and go to Austin or the ranch, which she loves, and I love that she loves that.
Yeah.
But she's only been on a plane twice. Once for Canada when she was real little, when her grandma was sick, and then once when we went to Kansas City with my mom, last fall or whenever that was, and she was acting like it was Disney World, so I'm excited. She's can't wait. I think they've been telling everybody at school, and it's kind of weird because they're missing a week of school, and we've never done that. But this is
gonna be fine.
It's his actual 70th birthday, so
They'll be fine.
we couldn't be yeah, thank you so much for inviting us and paying for our lodging and everything,
yeah.
but could we go during our spring break?
Right.
Like, no, you just go.
Yeah.
So
And yeah,
it's going to be super fun.
they'll be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
Little.
whatever. Yeah. I mean, well, and even now, like, I mean, there's a certain number of days you can miss or whatever before you kind of get into the weird stuff
in
that you have to
trouble.
do in the
Truancy.
summertime.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm like, that's what, like, Hattie missed, we extended her spring break when she was with me in spring training. What?
Right. And it all works out.
It'll, yeah. as long as
Honestly,
they
I'm like, the teachers probably need a little, like, one less student. I'm sure they're like, great. Especially if it's someone like Ryder, who's great, but he also gets,
yeah.
Needs a lot of attention sometimes because
Mhm.
he's chatty.
Mm-hmm.
That's what his folder always says, chatty.
Chatty.
Yes.
Chatty Ryder.
Yes, yes.
Well, good. That'll be fun. And next week, I'm going to have Jared Sandler as my
Yes.
guest co-host.
I love that.
Um,
He's coming in studio.
I think he's coming in studio. We're going to talk a lot of Rangers because he is, like, he's who I, now, especially now that CJ's gone. CJ Nitkowski is who I used to, kind of, CJ loved to, like, dive into numbers. And if I brought something up, he'd be like, oh, let me look into that and blah,
Yeah.
blah. And, so now CJ's working for the Braves and Jared is kind of my guy where I'm like, okay, what do you think about this? Or what, when I would like,
Right.
when I was
like
going
a
to spring
sounding
training, like
board.
I wasn't, I mean, listen, they were there in Arizona for a month before I really even, I'm paying attention loosely, but I'm like, okay, give me what you're thinking on roster breakdown. Cause it's hard to follow from
Yeah.
here. And to be honest, like, I just don't, this sounds terrible to say, but I don't have like the bandwidth in my brain anymore to like, okay, go get familiar with this guy. And then they're like, oh, he just got sent down to, triple. And I'm like, well, fuck. Like, now I'm going to get him confused with another guy. Anyway, so
Yeah.
I basically just like the last several years, I've just been like, I'll just worry about guys when they get to Arlington, like love them all. Hope they all do great. But
Yeah.
it's like, I'll just wait till they get to Arlington and then for sure,
Then you
make sure I
focus in.
and really
makes
concentrate.
There's a lot of guys in the
There,
system.
well, and it's hard to keep up, and you follow kind of the prospect lists and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, I followed it, I follow it loosely, but I'm just kind of like, I'll just wait till they get here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just,
Well, that's good. It's
I'm
always
old
good to have
and
a buddy
tired,
like
maybe.
that.
I don't know.
like
So anyway,
Jared.
Jared is the complete opposite, where he's diving into everything. He's dissecting everything. I mean, yesterday we were at the ballpark and I called someone a trainer when really he's a strength coach, and he's like, strength. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't like. I
Okay.
get it. Right.
Yeah,
Anyway, he's very serious about his baseball and about his Rangers. So anyway, we'll talk a lot about that. We'll talk some other stuff. He's a fun guy. He's one of my good friends. It's fun to have people at work that you
Yeah.
enjoy. So anyway, Gerald will be in next week.
That's great.
If I
Tell him
could ask you
thanks.
something. Yeah. What was I going to ask you? Oh, how's the 2-week reset? Are you done?
Oh, good. I actually really kind of enjoyed it, so I'm
Yeah.
still doing it. Like yesterday was 2 weeks, I guess, and I didn't do like 2 weeks completely by the book.
Right.
It was really hard. It was supposed to be just like basically a liquid diet. But I really like it was cutting out a lot of stuff that makes me feel bad.
Yeah.
Let's like, okay, if we cut like everything out, then we can really figure out like what causes you to feel like bloating or
Yeah.
pain or whatever it may be. Makes your jeans not be able to zip up and things
Right.
like that. And I've just felt really good. So I'm still trying to do it. And it's just like 2 shakes, a day, but I've gone into where I can eat dinner.
Yeah.
As long as it's like, veggie protein kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is nice because we still have people bringing us dinner and all that. And I was like, it was torture, for
Yeah.
a little while there. But it's great. It's going really well. I have a great like nutritionist that I'm working with. Like the whole deal here was to try to figure out like how to feel, obviously drop some pounds, but also just feel better. And Mexico was like a little bit of my thing that just helped spark it, but ahead of the summer. And I'm trying to avoid all the shots. Like
Oh, like
that a lot of people are
Ozempic and
doing.
stuff?
Yeah, and there's a lot more now. Like there's generic ones and there's
Yeah.
less expensive ones and there's
Yeah.
this and there's that. And I was talking with the doctor about it all and like she's like, Google this, Google that, and every single one had some side effects that scared me. One was like, okay, well this one's affordable, and I like looked at it and it was like, oh, you might have suicidal thoughts. And I was like, I don't want that. I don't want any of these side effects.
Yeah.
And plus it's just still so new. And I know a lot of people are finding success with it, and that's great. Like I
Yeah.
have a nurse, who my oncology nurse, she did it herself, and she's like, it's fine. It's a game changer
Yeah.
for a lot of people that like need to get into a healthy,
Yes.
weight or whatever. But turns out too, after I had my blood drawn and everything, I was like not in danger zone, but like pre-danger zone for diabetes stuff.
Oh, really?
So I'm glad I'm like, just trying to kind
Yeah.
of sort through it all, and I'm trying not to, and I'm not going to do the shots, but that is kind of like what sparked it all.
Yeah.
But the nutritionist that I'm working with, I really like, and I do want to have her on, like just to talk about this whole phenomenon.
Yeah.
Like the all the different shots.
Yeah.
And she's very into intermittent fasting, and I know that's something that you
Yeah.
do.
Well, and I heard you do a story on the radio that's like, am I now like 10 times more likely to die or something than you because I do intermittent fasting?
That's what American Heart Association has said, like 91% more chance of having like a cardiac event if you're an intermittent faster.
91%?
Yeah, and it's still pretty early on, like in all of their research, and I asked her about this. Her name is Annie. And she was like, I don't buy it. Because she's big on the fasting method.
Yeah.
Like went to school for all of this. And
Well, and I will tell you, I've been doing it for how many years now? I mean, 3 or 4. And again, I call it intermittent eating.
Right.
I mean, because technically my food window won't open up until 12 or 1, but
it's pushed back. Wasn't it 11 for?
Sometimes it just depends on what time of year.
When you eat dinner too, right?
Yeah. But like last night, so for example, but I'm also not like hard and fast.
Right. Yeah.
So like last night, yesterday I ate lunch. Henry and I went to Cava, which I love Cava, by the way.
I need to go.
And I went to Cava, and then so I had that for lunch, and then I was going to eat a little bit of something at the ballpark. So I had like a little bit of potatoes, like half a grilled chicken, and some salad. And that was like at 4:30. And then by the time I got home, because I was up later, because had a game, and I was up, and I get home at like 10:30, and I'm like, I just want a little something. And so like I had some Triscuits. And so, but it was fine. So I'm not like, no, my food window is closed, and there is no more food, no more consumption. So I'm not really hard and fast, but I will say I've done it for, I want to say like 4 years or so.
Yeah.
I've done it for a long time.
Well, and it works for you.
And I love, like, it does make me feel good.
Yeah.
And I have my latte in the morning, like, whatever.
Well, and even with her fasting, she says coffee in the morning's fine.
Well, but I think
Probably
that's
not with
like
all the
black
stuff in
coffee.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mine's a little funny, milk latte, whatever.
That's what I have. I had that this morning, and I love
So it's
those.
like, with 1 raw sugar. Like, I don't think it's terrible, but I'm also not like hard and fast. Like, I'm not looking at calories, or I'm just like this. I basically eat from, noon to 6, 1 to 7. But like we went to dinner for a girlfriend's birthday over the weekend, and we had reservations at 7. It's not like, we got to get it. Let's get this food ordered.
Right.
Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's just like when I can do
and
it.
And I think that's the only, you can't be too strict can't maintain something.
Right.
And if you've been able to maintain it for that long, then that's probably why, because you have these.
It's just kind of the way
Yeah. But yeah, I think a lot of people do that, and she did not believe what the American Heart Association
91% was so aggressive.
She didn't even know about that. She was like, I'm going to go research it, because we've been having calls like on Fridays.
Yeah.
But I would love to have her on too. She also has 7 kids.
What?
I know. 7 kids.
Is she okay?
Nutritionist. Yeah, I think she's okay.
Is she okay?
I think she's okay.
Are you sure?
Sounds like she has her ass together.
You have to.
I
You
know.
can't have 7 kids and not have your shit together.
You have to. You have to know what.
Your next level shit together if you have 7 kids.
Yeah.
7?
It takes a certain type of
Wait,
person
are they
that knows
all?
they can handle that.
Did she birth them all?
I don't know. I haven't gone into all that with her, but she's a very interesting person. I think
She definitely needs to
come on here and talk about.
We could send our kids home with her, and she'd
she wouldn't even notice. What's 4 more?
Yes. Why can't come on in? We got this shit figured out.
Right.
Wow, 7 kids.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, speaking of that, somebody else I want to get on. I went to this Laura Bush luncheon for the Laura Bush Institute, Health and whatever Institute. I don't know what it's called.
Uh-huh.
And I told you she didn't exactly. Did I tell you this story? It was so Trigman.
No.
So
you went up to Laura.
I did. And I was like, because my friend Meredith Land invited me to go, because she's on the board of this institute or whatever. And so Laura's not. I usually go when they are in Fort Worth, and Laura doesn't usually doesn't come to all of them, but she was at this one. And so just like Troy, I walk up and I'm like, "Hi, Mrs. Bush," and like I went in kind of for a hug. And she kind of stuck her hand out. It was so awkward.
Oh no, she didn't want to hug.
She didn't want to hug. She did not recognize me. And so I panicked again. And I was like, Are you ready for opening day? Are you ready for opening day? Are you going to be at the ballpark? I hope I can see you there. I hope, remember, because that's where I usually see you, is at the
Oh my God,
ballpark. I know. Usually
Did
I'm a
it
baseball
click?
girl. Like, it's like, we're not friends. Like, we're not friends. She doesn't.
You're friends with her
Well,
hubby.
I mean, now George and I, on the other hand, I mean, we're like the besties.
Yes.
But I don't think Laura appreciates me and my baseball knowledge.
It probably just did not click for
She
her.
didn't. It didn't. And you know when you see someone outside of, like,
Yes.
she's used to seeing me at the ballpark. She's
Yes.
always very friendly and very nice at the ballpark.
At the ballpark,
That's-
you
she's
make
used-
sense there.
I make sense there.
Yes.
I didn't make sense at a fancy
No.
luncheon.
No.
Um,
Where probably a lot of people think they know her at a fancy luncheon. Right?
Probably.
There's all the fancy people probably have
and
met her
listen,
once.
can I just tell you that there's no place more that I don't belong than a fancy luncheon?
Remember when we went to one together? The fancy luncheons. I don't know.
I don't.
I don't know.
I'm
I
not-
don't belong either.
I don't belong at a fancy luncheon.
No.
I just don't.
I don't want to get dressed.
No, I don't even mind.
11
But it's like
a.m.
I always
for
feel like
lunch.
I go to a fancy luncheon and I'm like just looking around and everyone's wearing stuff that you've seen on Instagram or something. They
Yeah.
look like they just came from a runway show.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know?
there's like a whole luncheon lady life.
Yeah, and
You know?
I'm rocking a jean jacket. and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just am not fancy luncheon girl.
I'm not fancy luncheon girl either.
I mean, I'll go. I prefer
I
fancy
like,
luncheons
I like the
have
meals, like if I'm invited. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I like a free
and
meal.
oh, here's another thing. If you go to a fancy luncheon, they're not eating
No, they're
that
not.
all that.
Because the people, shoo, they come by so quickly to
But
get your
I'm
plate.
I am eating it.
So
and
am
then,
I. And I was like, I'm not done. Excuse me. I'm
And
not
then
done.
also, like at this one, there was alternating desserts.
Yeah.
And my friend Karen that went with me, I was like, "You just gonna let that creme brulee just sit there?" She's like, "Oh, I don't want it." And I'm like, "Okay, I just want one bite just to taste it, one bite." And then like the speaker's speaking, and I just another bite. Finally, she's like, here's the
Just
creme
taste the
brulee.
creme
Have as much
brulee."
of it as you'd like." And I'm like, "How do you people have like food in front of you, and you're just choosing to just like take one bite of each thing and then move on?" And are you going home after this?
Are you going home to scarf food at your
And
house?
like you're gonna make some shells and cheese? Like
Yeah.
what are you doing after this?
Yeah.
Where you're not eating this food that's in front of you.
At least they generally don't eat.
Well, I mean, I know my friends eat.
Yeah.
I just think
But that's what the luncheon is for.
think
It's a luncheon.
I just
for
think
eating.
fancy luncheon people don't eat a ton.
Yeah.
Because I think they're worried about what other fancy luncheon people
Yeah.
around them.
Maybe they have another fancy luncheon. Maybe they're on the fancy lunch circuit and they got to go from boom, boom, boom in a day.
Oh, they have another fancy
Yeah,
luncheon.
you never know. It's like I think it's luncheon
I don't
season
know.
right now.
So, is it?
It's luncheon season in the
Season.
spring. Yeah.
God, I'm so
Sandals,
not
dresses,
fancy.
flowers. I'm not
Caftans.
fancy either, Emily.
Do you have any caftans?
No.
I feel like that's a fancy luncheon
It is.
lady thing.
Yeah, it is. Captain.
You know what else is fancy, lady?
Big right now.
Round Top. You go to Round Top?
Oh yeah,
Ever?
my sister-in-law just went to Round Top. Take
Round
some
Top.
girls to Round Top. I saw Pat Green played there though because Corey has her.
Yep.
Her.
Corey's there. My friend
first
Brooke Wright is
space.
there.
Should
they
we?
have-
Should we totally go hit up Round Top?
Should we? I can't think of any place I would be more out of my element than Round
You wanna
Top.
Go
Is
shop
it,
for
is
antiques.
it like antiques? Like,
Yeah.
You've been to my house. Like, there's nothing.
No.
I want new shit. Like,
Mine are
don't
unintentional
give me
antiques.
your refurbished shit. I want new
Your
stuff.
house is very modern. Mine's all antiques that I don't want it to be. Mine's like stuff from when my grandma moved out and left stuff and I moved in. I was like, sure, that table
like,
will work. But they're not like
But look, it's
they're not the cool antiques.
I know.
They're not
I
the
know.
antiques people
I've
shop
heard,
for.
But I've heard some wild stories from Round Top too.
Yeah.
Like shit gets a little turned up.
Are there bars?
Oh, honey, they're drinking all day.
Yeah, I understand that, but where do they go when they're not shopping?
I don't. There's got to be. There has
Yeah.
to be bar. I
There's
don't know.
probably a lot of
We
like
should do a
sequin, like
mom
bejeweled
game investigates.
jackets, and we should.
Round Top.
That would be
you
really
imagine?
fun.
It does look
We
fun.
could go do some interviews.
I'm like, oh, we're
find the
just
people
walking
that are-
around, drinking, wearing cowboy boots and cute hats and hats and
It
scarves.
does
Like,
look fun.
all right, I'll
I don't
go.
want the antiques, but it does look fun.
And I don't have to buy anything.
No. I'm
And
sure I'd find stuff.
yeah,
But yeah.
get a blackjack game going or something.
Yeah.
Like for people that aren't into antiques.
You want to get a blackjack?
I don't know. I'm
going?
just trying to think of something I could do. I don't know. Trying to think of a game that will travel.
Right. Blackjack would work.
Blackjack.
You know there's probably mahjong over there.
I could. No, you know there is. But you know what I could do? I could have a gambling tent.
Okay.
I don't think it's legal.
Oh.
God, if it became legal,
Yeah.
I could just I'll be the house.
Yeah.
Sit down, have a seat.
Yeah.
Let's play some cards.
I like it. I'd go to your table.
Okay.
I feel like
Let's keep our
the-
eyes and ears open to when gambling becomes legal. In
Mom Game Investigates. I feel like the Venn diagram of luncheon ladies and round top
Yeah.
ladies definitely
Yeah.
intersects.
And I think
There's a big chunk of
we can both. I feel
Luncheon,
like we can
round
both
top.
vibe with both of those
we can
crowds.
totally vibe. We're a little bit of like chameleon like.
Yeah. Well,
We could fit in. I'm not
Hopefully.
ever gonna be like, oh, she needs to come back. Like, oh,
Right.
you are in the group.
No,
But like, yeah, I'll get like
No one's
a
ever
random
going-
invite here and there.
No one's ever going to invite me to Round Top. I will tell you that much right now. No one will ever invite me to Round Top.
No one will ever invite me to Round Top.
Well, then that's why we're just going by ourselves together.
Let's go. Mom Game Investigates
the
Round
Round
Tops. We should get in on some of these lady luncheons too and do a little luncheon circuit, investigate. I think if I had to pick one though, I
But we
would.
have to be invited to luncheons.
Yeah, that's true. We could get
Or we have to buy a table.
Mom Game could have a table.
We have to sponsor.
Yeah.
Well, okay, here we go. We're going to find, okay, listen, if you know of a luncheon coming up, don't luncheons benefit like causes?
Yes.
If there is
Oftentimes it's kids.
if there is a luncheon that benefits a cause that the Mom Game can help sponsor,
Mhm.
not only with our financial
A cause that
contributions,
we align with.
yep, but also we can give them publicity on our show,
Uh-huh.
on our social media.
Uh-huh.
We will help raise awareness for your luncheon and be a sponsor so we can see how we fit into the
And then invite our own table of people,
and we're gonna invite
all of our people, and be like the best table at the luncheon.
yes.
Be the rowdy. They're gonna have to kick us out.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
So let us know.
Yeah. Also, if
Holler at us.
you want to invite us to Round Top, then
There's no one inviting us to Round Top. There is no one
in another world,
inviting
Emily.
us to Round Top.
Yeah.
No, I'm not cut out for Round Top.
I'm not either.
Anyway, it does look fun though,
Yeah.
and I would accept an invitation.
To Round Top?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it'd be fun.
Okay, we need
Okay.
to get off of luncheons and Round Tops.
We do. Baseball. You're excited. It's the week
Yeah,
of
so it's here.
Thursday. You don't
Opening
have to
day.
work, or
So
you have to work?
Thursday I don't have to work because it's a national exclusive game.
Yeah.
So for the first time in my life, I will be at opening day in the stands,
Awesome.
and I will be with my family, and I am so incredibly excited about it.
Great.
Yeah. So we'll get to watch the banner drop, the flag drop, all that kind of stuff. And then Saturday is ring ceremony day. I have no idea. I'm not part of the ring ceremony. I'm
Did you
hoping
figure out what tier you are?
I didn't.
Okay.
I'm really hoping for tier 2.
Yeah.
Like, and nothing against tier 3, but I don't feel like I'm in tier 1.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like
You're probably tier 2. Is
like
tier
tier
3 like
2 is a
employees?
good-
Would they-
I don't know. I feel like
Yeah.
it's gonna be.
but
I
like,
don't know.
like someone in like the marketing department doesn't get a ring, right?
No, they do.
Wow.
I'm almost
Oh.
positive like everyone in the organization gets a
Oh
ring.
wow, that's crazy.
Isn't it?
That's cool. So those people are probably tier 3. You're probably tier 2. I think you nailed it.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, but listen, don't get me wrong. If I'm tier 3, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But I just thought tier 2 would be a good little sweet.
I think
spot
that's
for
a
me.
good spot
Yeah.
for you.
So yeah, Saturday is the ring ceremony. I'm super excited about it. Like I said, I'm not gonna be a part of the ring ceremony, but I think I'll get my ring on Saturday. If not, I'll just be like, can I just have it?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
And
need
you're
for
working
a
that game?
ceremony. I am working that game.
Okay. Cool.
Saturday and Sunday.
And Easter.
Yeah, and Easter's here, and then Henry has a tournament.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't really get to celebrate Easter, which is fine. It's
Yeah.
okay. But yeah, baseball season is here for Henry. Baseball season is here for me. We're still in softball season for Hattie, and now she's like kids. I'm having the anxiety, like
Yeah.
especially last night. I was having it really bad because I forgot that I was working this exhibition game. It was a night game, and I'm like, okay, here we go with who's picking up the kids from school, who's
Yep.
all this kind of stuff to where I'm like, I need to kind of take a deep breath. I need to get my calendar in order, but I'm having that kind of. I texted Mike last night, and I was like, so much anxiety tonight. And he's like, honey, we've got this. Like, we've done this for how many years? Like,
Yeah.
we're fine. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I know. And I appreciate you saying that. But I still have massive anxiety.
Right.
So I'm trying to get my brain wrapped around everything. And like Henry had a tournament this weekend and it was so fun. And I loved being there. And I'm like, fuck, now I'm going to miss shit.
I know.
And it sucks.
Oh, I'm sorry,
I know.
So hard.
Sorry, I didn't want to get, but it's like
No.
you just start to get reminded of, well, fuck, here we go.
Yeah. I get it.
You know,
It's hard, and the older he
know,
gets, like
I
the more
know,
fun and the more
and the
serious
more
the
he-
sports.
and the more he wants me there.
Yeah. Oh.
Um,
Well, make it as often as you can, right?
I
'Cause
know,
there's
I
lots
know.
of-
But we were there from, I mean, 8 o'clock in the morning until 11 o'clock at night, and we went back and forth. And Hattie had a game in the middle there, and
Oh.
anyway, it's just like it reminds you. Good Lord. You know, you just
Yeah,
I've
once-
been
once you s-
available. I've been available for everything for the last 5 months.
Yeah.
And so, you know, and getting to be there this weekend and, you know, him wanting me there so much and now knowing that, okay, now it's going to go back to, you know, to missing things and it's part of it, but it's just, I don't feel like
It doesn't make it.
it never gets
It
easier.
doesn't mean you don't have
know,
the feelings,
I know.
right?
So that's what
It's
was
hard.
I wasn't going to talk about it. 'Cause
Oh.
I was trying to be, you
Well,
know,
that's good. That's what this is
tough about
for.
it.
The mom
I
game.
know,
Like that's
I know.
literally it. You got to go work a game, and you're
know.
also
So
a mom.
anyway,
And we're trying to
I
figure
know.
it all
I'm
out.
like emotional, and I think I'm having a hot flash.
Uh oh.
So
Oh.
anyway, so that's where we are. And it will be fine, and we have done it for how many ever years.
Yeah.
But it's like we've talked about a million times before. You think it's gonna get easier,
Yeah.
and it doesn't.
And
get
it
easier.
doesn't. It never does.
It gets harder.
It never does.
In my opinion, it gets harder.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, yeah, take me back to when, you know, they were sleeping in a crib and, you know, woke up crying and didn't know when it was you or I mean, and they knew. But you know, it's just like
It's just different. Yeah.
fuck. So
Now it's like a very
anyway.
emotional. It's like
yes.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yep, I know. I had I was up at night thinking about stuff like this too, and I was like, man, because I'm, still struggling a bit with my 2 to 6. It's like that's the,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I'm missing this year where Anna's kinder and cute as can be, and Ryder's second, and still wants me there.
Yeah.
Like still wants me to pick him up from school. I'm like, this window could be over next year. He could be too cool for third grade
Yeah.
to where they don't want you there anymore. But I'm glad to hear that Henry still wants you.
I will
Because that makes
say,
me feel better.
I
In my
feel like-
mind, I'm like,
I know.
yeah.
I feel like boys and mamas, I mean, and not all of them, but like with Henry and I, there is like there are certain things that he wants to
Yeah.
do with his dad, but there's also the two of like that there is, he wants me there for, I mean, it's just, I don't know, like there is a bond, and I think you can have you obviously have different kind of bonds with your children,
Yes.
each of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I think Henry's gonna last I mean, he wants me around more than Hattie does.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
It
That's
is.
good. He wants
So,
you to
yeah,
be around.
it's
It's good you
just-
have a job you love.
Yes.
And yes, it's okay to feel
I know.
shitty about having to miss kid stuff.
I
Like that's
know.
the hardest
I
thing in
know.
the world.
And I think that's what I was just thinking about last night. I was at the game and I'm like, ugh, like, here we go.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this, it's just, you want to be
Well,
there. For
in
everything.
less games, right? So you won't travel as much. So I'm
It is.
sure there's baseball you
Yes.
can be at.
For
So
sure.
just-
I'm not going to miss everything.
Right.
And I am at everything that I can
Yes.
be
Yes.
at. But anyway,
Well,
it's
We'll be thinking
always-
of you as it
I-
all gets
well,
underway
you're
because I
sweet.
know it's just like this oncoming like barrage.
Yeah, and I think once I
schedule
get
and
into
anxiety
it,
and
once
everything.
once I get into it, it's just once you go from like being completely and totally available
Yeah.
for 5 months
Yeah,
of like
it makes it
basically mom can do anything, anytime, any place, whatever. To
Yeah.
now, I've got to, this is
Got to be somewhere by a
Yes.
certain time on these certain days. And
Exactly.
That's difficult.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of that, all the anxiety yesterday that I had, and I needed to sleep. Like
Yeah.
I didn't want to like, oftentimes I'll come home and have a glass of wine or whatever and just kind of, decompress. And so, but last night I was like, nope, I'm going straight to bed, pop some early bird. And then
I did too.
you did.
Yeah.
And I turned on a Bravo show,
Uh-huh.
which I was already caught up on everything. So I had to watch The Valley, which not good.
I didn't know it.
Anyway, but I'm really grateful for a solution to my sleeping and anxiety issues like early bird. I've said it a million times and y'all know I'm not full of shit. I literally rely on them to, like, I had that thought process on my way home last night from work. I'm like, I could have a glass of wine, scroll through social media, blah, blah, blah. Or I could just go home, pop some early birds, get into bed, turn on a Bravo show on my phone, and fall asleep
And go
within 20
night-night.
minutes. And
Yep.
that was the best. And I woke up feeling, at least well rested. I'm still having obviously the anxiety or whatever, but it did definitely allow me to shut down and get some rest. So I'm so thankful for early bird. And now I've started taking them a little bit, like when I know I'm just going to be home and
Yeah.
I might do a little bonus awake time with
Yeah.
the early bird.
That's what I recommend. It's funny when I take them like an hour before bed, I can totally feel when it kicks in. It's like I'm just doing this,
it's
doing
so
that.
fun. It
I'm
is.
putting a blender, whatever, and then I'm
And
like,
then you're like, oh, here we go.
okay,
Yeah.
all right, I'm done. I'm done with anything productive. Kelly knows it too. He's like, did your early bird just hit? I'm like, yep. It's good though. It's
I
perfect.
know.
Earlybirdcbd.com, and then the mom game in all caps will get you your discount.
Yeah.
So we've heard some people go purchase, and I think now you do have to type in the mom game on the coupon code thing.
Yes.
For it to work. So make sure if you're buying the early bird that you're using the discount code to save some money.
Yes.
But yes,
I
thank
know.
goodness for early bird.
I know. And we were going to talk about a million different like sports topics, but
Yeah.
we didn't get to them. I feel like,
Yeah, we have a cool guest. So.
yeah, I feel like, and what we talked about was way more important.
Yeah.
And I don't think people are coming here for the latest Shohei Ohtani news.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they're probably good. Probably getting that everywhere.
everywhere. Okay, so let's bring in our very special guest.
Yep. Okay, this is a very special day for us here on the Mom Game because we have an Olympic gold medalist joining us here on the show, Michelle Carter. And I know that's not all you are because you're using your platform and your experience now to do so many cool things in the community for women. So first of all, thank you so much for coming here today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Michelle, my first question is, where do you keep your medals? Because there's not just one, isn't there?
Well, one Olympic medal. I have
Okay.
some world championship medals.
Okay.
But everybody's like, oh, how come it's not on display? I have them hidden.
Okay.
I just keep them tucked away. I pull them out when necessary. 'Cause
Okay.
I feel like if you're going to come to my house and steal it, I need you to search for it.
Okay. Gotta make you work for it.
Gotta make you work for it. I can't make it too easy for you.
Okay, so I'm about to get a World Series ring on
Oh.
Saturday because I've been working for the Rangers for how many
Yeah.
ever years. Anyway, I finally get a ring. So, do you have any suggestions on how to handle a valuable piece of hardware like that?
Man, I look at it like things are meant to be worn and used. Like you wear it as
Okay.
much as you want to, show it off.
Okay.
But just put it in a safe place.
Okay.
People want that.
So, do you wear your medals anywhere? When do you bring them out?
Well, when people ask me to at certain speaking engagements
Okay.
or appearances, they're like, "Can you bring the medal?"
Yeah.
And then when I go to schools, I let the kids touch it because it is like a once in a lifetime opportunity, and you never know who's gonna look at it and be like, "Oh, I can get one," because a lot of people haven't felt it,
Sure.
and they're heavy. Like it weighs like 1.2 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And that's a lot. So
yeah.
I let people touch it. So it's not like in the best of shape, but it still looks good.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay, so which Olympics? And it was the shot put, right?
Yes.
Tell us the gold medal story.
Yeah. So it was 2016 Olympic Games in Rio. And I actually was having like the year of my life, like the year that you really want as an athlete where everything goes according to plan. I started out having that year. We have indoor track. So I had indoor nationals. I was a champion. Indoor world. I won that. I was indoor champion.
And this was when you were at UT.
No, this is
No.
2016.
Okay, so
I
when?
graduated UT in 2007.
Okay.
I'm older than what I look. Look.
No shit, girl.
Look, I will
Dang.
be 39 this year.
Oh.
Me too.
I remember that. That was
She's like,
a
"Oh."
while back for me. Okay,
This is like
sorry.
professional.
So you're okay. 'Cause I want to
athlete.
know how
Yeah.
that works. So keep going, but I
Okay,
want
yeah.
to go back to like how you continue to do this after college and.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes,
So
go on.
I'll finish the
Yes,
16
please.
story, then we'll bring it back.
Yes, please.
Okay, so I'm having a year indoor national champion, indoor world champion, indoor American record. I'm like, this is the year. I've never
Yeah.
thrown this far in my life. It's a personal record for me, and it's March. I'm like, I'm about to be deadly when it's June and July. Like, they can't stop me by then. And then 2 weeks after indoor world championships, I just wake up one morning and I could barely move.
Oh, no.
My back is hurting. and I don't know what I did. I didn't have a moment where I was like, oh, that could have tweaked my back. I have no idea what I did. I just woke up not being able to move. So I finally get up, get dressed. I try to go to practice. Like, let me just stretch and warm up. Listen, that
Were you in a
jog.
hotel? Like, where were you?
I'm
Like,
at home.
okay, so
Oh, yeah,
same
I'm at
bed.
home. Same bed.
Okay, now I'm trying to
I'm
figure
at
this out.
home.
Okay.
Just had practice the other day. Same things I'm always doing.
Okay.
Nothing changed. And I jog, and then I tried to even just get on the ground, and I couldn't. My back was like, yeah, no. So I'm over here in tears, and my dad walks over, who was my coach. And he said, what's wrong? I'm like, Dad, I gotta go to the doctor. I said, I might have to go to the hospital because my back is on fire. So I go there, go to the doctor, find out I had a herniated disc in my back.
Ow.
And they said, well, you need to have surgery. And I'm like, how long will it take to recover from surgery? 3 months. I said, well, I can't do surgery. The Olympics is in 3 months. What else? What's my other option? They was like, well, we got to do some research. Let's look at it. So I'm thinking to myself, like, this is crazy. Like, why does this happen right now? And so I'm thinking, okay, let me just try to do some stuff. And it gets worse. It gets so bad to where the disc was on my nerves so tough that my left leg was going numb. So I'm trying to walk and I can't feel my leg. I'm tripping over myself. And I'm thinking to myself, I am a world-class athlete and I can't even walk straight right now. And I was just so upset. So we ended up finding another route. We did decompression therapy. And that's when you lay down on this table. They kind of give your, stretch your back out to give your disc space to kind of breathe and to heal and hydrate themselves. So I did that like 5 days a week. I went to physical therapy 4 days a week. I'm trying to still work out as much as I can handle. I have to change all my routines because I'm limited to what I can do. And then after that, I was like, I didn't have any track meets. So I went from being indoor world champion, new American indoor record, to you don't see me no more to the Olympic trials.
Wow.
So, but you had already qualified for the trials.
I had already qualified for the trials. Yeah.
So you had that going for you.
Yeah, I qualified the year before from my last track meet, but then indoor counts towards your qualifications for the Olympic trials. And so I qualified. So I make it to the meet. And at this time, there's so many rumors. Well, Michelle's old because I was 11 years older than my next oldest competitor.
Wow.
Okay.
And I didn't hear that until I played it back on TV. I'm like, they wrong for that. But
I agree.
I'm there and people are like, oh, she's pregnant. She's washed up. She's not going to make it. I'm like, I'm just going to sit here. I don't care what you said. I know what I can do. So I get there all through the competition. I'm in second place. I'm like, cool. I make the team. Top 3 makes the team. But on the last throw, I'm like, no, I want to win. So on my last throw, I won, made it to the Olympic Games. And at this time, I'm like coasting. Because I don't have to do too much work. It's just all about recovery. So I get to Rio, and I am the calmest I've ever been in my entire life at any competition. And keep in mind, this is my 3rd Olympic Games.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not a stranger to this.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew what to expect, but I had this calmness over me. And people are like, Michelle, like, are you okay? I'm like, I am great. And I get ready for the competition day. And of course, you get competition nerves. And I remember going through the first round because we compete at 10 o'clock in the morning for qualifying. And then you come back at 10 o'clock at night for finals. We're the only event that goes all in one day, which sucks, but
Wow. Yeah.
it just is what it is. So I go to the qualifying. We call it one and done, where you throw over a qualifying line. They have a line, a marker. You throw over that, you're done. You can just get ready for later. So that's what I did. I got my one and done, packed my bags, go back to the village, rest, get ready for tonight. So then we come back, finals at 10 o'clock at night. And I'm like, Michelle, this is it. This is it. Throw number 1, second place. Throw number 2, second place. Throw number 3, second place. Then they reorder us in order for the last 3 throws. And so
how many are in the field?
12, and
Okay.
then for the last 3 throws is 8.
Okay.
And so then they reorder us. I'm next to last because the person who was in first gets the last throw going into the finals. Well, the last part of the finals. And throw number 4, second place. Throw number 5, second place. And I'm like, come on now. Like,
So close.
come on now.
So how
Like,
far
this
were
is
you,
it.
like, from first place? Like,
I
what was-
wasn't far. I think
Okay.
I think it could have been less than a foot.
Okay.
Less than a foot. I don't remember exactly. But I've been working hard all year long, and I was waiting for this one little thing in my technique, just to be patient to create torque, which is like power from my lower body and upper body. So my lower body goes first, keep my upper body back. It kind of creates a spring action to create power. So that's the one thing I'm working on and waiting on to show up for me, and it hasn't showed up yet. So I was like, you know what? We're going to pray. We're going to talk to the Lord. So I prayed real quick. I'm like, Lord, you told me I could win this. Like, if you don't show up right now, then this is it, 'cause this is my last throw. And so I get into the ring and I throw, and I felt the one thing I've been waiting for. Now, do I know how far it was? No, because I'm looking, I'm like, I can't tell. I can't see that good. So once I walk out the ring, I have to wait to see what my mark is. So my name goes up. You see M. Carter, and then next to my name was a number 1. And then next to that was NR, which stood for national record.
Whoa.
And I was like, okay, act cool, because the girl who's in first place has one more throw, and I don't want to give her any energy. So I walk out the ring like, yeah, I meant to do that. But on the inside, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And so she gets in the ring, she throws, and I'm like, she kind of rushed that. And it was still a decent throw for her. But when her name popped up and her name had a number 2, all I could think about was like, really? Like, this is how this plays out?
Yeah.
Because in your mind, you have a way that things should go. How
Right.
you hear, this is people victory stories, and this is how everything was great. No, I couldn't walk 3 months before this.
Yeah.
And then I ended up winning on my very last throw, upsetting a 2-time Olympic champion to be now the first American woman to win a gold medal at the Olympic Games.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Oh, that's
That is so
super
cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. I
So
love
that was
story.
what year again?
2016.
16. Okay, so what do you? I'm curious to how this process works. Like from college
Yeah.
to continuing to be a professional. Like how?
Yeah.
How does this all work? And how do you? And how is your dad being your coach?
Well, yeah, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
So my dad is actually an athlete himself.
Okay.
He is an Olympic silver medalist as well as a 3-time Super Bowl Pro Bowl champion for the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay.
So my dad is from Dallas. He went to Thomas Jefferson High School, went to school at SMU, and then in 1984, he played football and track while he was in college. So 1984, he graduated from college. He married my mom, made the Olympic team, went to LA, won silver. Then he
In what event?
Shot put.
Okay.
And then,
okay.
then
Now it all makes sense.
he was drafted to the NFL, went to the Olympic Games, won silver, and then after that he went to the NFL and played for San Fran. And that same year they won.
Oh, wow.
So I'm technically a San Francisco baby, grew up in California, but his track career all started before I even knew anything about it, because I was born in 1985 and he did that in 1984, and track is considered an amateur sport. So once he had signed his NFL contract, he could no longer participate in track and field.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
So, funny story, real quick. One of the reasons I was such a big fan of Michelle was because her dad and my dad competed against each other in high school.
Oh,
At
okay.
shot put and discus, and her dad whooped my dad's ass every year at regionals.
Oh, how
Yeah.
funny.
Well, my dad is the national high school record holder at
Yeah.
81 feet 3 inches.
Okay.
And that record hasn't been broken
Oh my
or
gosh.
even
so
close
cool.
to. So, like, he's okay for a silver medalist. But,
you got that gold.
Right.
But
That
you
on
got
him.
that gold.
And, yeah, so that's how my dad became my coach. But I didn't know he did track until I actually started doing track myself.
Okay.
Had no idea. So, anyways, I was a number 1 high school girl in shot put and discus coming out of the state of Texas. And so I won 8 state champions, 4 in shot, 4 in discus. So I had the choice to go to any school. I ended up going to the University of Texas, Hook'em Horns. And so I did.
You know
all
who's got a
4
really good
years.
track program is Texas Tech, girl. Just
they-
saying, just saying.
But they still can't beat Texas.
Just saying. Okay, well.
But my sister went to Texas Tech, so I got love for
Okay,
Texas
okay,
Tech.
okay,
She went
all right,
there. She's a
okay.
national champion there. They got her on the wall there. So, you know,
okay.
I'll accept
Okay.
it. I mean, but it's
Okay.
still not Texas. but-
Okay.
So, I graduated. We were national champions there. Like, we had a killer squad. Like, if you know anything about track and field, you had Sonia Richards-Ross on our team. So we had heavy hitters on our team. And so I graduated in 2007.
Okay.
And I'm like, what I'm going to do with my life? Because I didn't have the best senior year at NCAAs. I actually finished 4th and 5th. I was supposed to win, get my Nike contract. That did not happen because I was trying to graduate and get up out of there.
Yeah.
And so when I moved back home after graduating, I was just looking at the calendar, like, what am I going to do with my life? Like, what's coming up? And I'm like, Michelle, like, the Olympics is next year. Like, just keep training
Yeah.
and see what happens.
Yeah.
And so I kept training, made it to the Olympic trials in 2008, made my first Olympic team, went to Beijing, China, and I still didn't have a contract. I finished 15th there, still didn't have a contract. And I'm like, okay, well, I actually enjoyed that. Let me do this again. So in 2009, we had world championships. And I realized if I finish in the top 8, 10, I can make some money. Right. I need to make money so I can get up out my parents' house. That was like the number one goal. And so world championships came. I finished 9th place, which was the highest. Oh, no, I lied. I finished 6th place, which was at that time the highest an American woman had finished in world championships in my event at that time. And then the next day I got a call from ESPN Body Issue to be in their very first Body Issue. And I was like, oh, like people are watching me? And then.
Wait, is that the same one that Prince Fielder was in?
Oh, I don't know.
That's the only person I know that's been in the ESPN The Body. What
Okay,
year
I don't
was it?
remember. 2009.
9. Okay.
The very first issue.
No, I think it was.
It was like
that was
Serena
before.
Williams
Yeah.
and yeah. So I did
That's
that.
awesome.
It was cool. And then the next day after that, Nike called, was like, we want to offer you a contract. And I'm like, okay, finally.
Yeah.
And so from there, I kept training and making it to track meets, making money. And so that's kind of how it works in track and field. Like if you're good enough to get a contract, you get a contract. If not, some people have to work their way up to getting a contract. So it's a little cutthroat. Olympic
Yeah.
sports are not easy.
I'm
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
Nelly. Okay. So what do you like? Tell us about now. Like, are you done competing?
I am retired. Yes,
Okay.
I am. My last year was it 22? 22. Yeah.
So damn,
Look,
you
I'm-
rode it for a while.
I did because in 16 we had world championships. So the year before and the year after the Olympics is world championships.
Okay.
So it's like Olympic, world championship, an off year. We still have like a major championship, but then there's a world championship, Olympic Games, world championship.
Okay.
So we have a major championship every year. So the last world championships I wanted to be at was going to be in the U.S., but I ended up missing 2020 Olympic Games. I was training for it. Of course, it was pushed back because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And I was training, kept having issues with my ankle. And I'm like, let me go to the doctor. Go to the doctor. They look at my ankle. He was like, oh, you just have a cyst. We're going to drain it. You're going to be fine. Sit out for a week. You'll be good. Wake up from surgery. Yeah, so about your ankle. It was a tumor.
Oh no.
And it was really sticky. And we had to really scrape and clean it up. And so, yeah, your season is over.
Oh no.
And I'm like, I'm the reigning Olympic champion. I don't get to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I had the opportunity to commentate that year, which I enjoyed.
Cool.
Oh, fun.
And then recovering from that, my last year was going to be 21 because World Championships was going to be in Eugene, which was going to be the first time a World Championships was going to be on U.S. soil. And that's where I wanted to retire. I didn't make that team, but I was like, that's it. I'm done. Everybody's like,
Yeah.
well, you still have time. No, I don't want to come back anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that's when I remember going to practice one day and I'm like, why am I here? I said, okay, yeah, it's time for me to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're
Just
asking those
new.
questions.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
And so you're doing some cool stuff now, motivational speaking, and all
Yes.
kinds of stuff. Tell us
Yeah,
what you
so
got.
I am a motivational speaker. I also have a girls camp called You Throw Girls Sports Confidence Camp, where we build confidence in young female athletes to believe in who they are on and off the field.
Hey, tell me the name of it. You Throw Girl.
You Throw Girl.
Oh, I
It's
love
like
it.
You Throw Girl.
Love
Like,
that.
I love it.
I created the camp because, like, as much as I am into sports, I feel like I'm not all about sports. There's still different parts of me that needs to be developed. And when I see young female athletes, there's so much focus on the skill, but these young girls still need other things in their life to make them well-rounded individuals. And so I created that camp. So we have a confidence building component to it where we do goal setting, vision boards, how to walk and talk with confidence, how to handle your social media. We
Cool.
have an adolescent OBGYN comes in to talk to them about taking care of their bodies and puberty. Like we hit all the things because a lot of girls, some have dads as their only parent and dad don't know everything. So
Right.
these parents are
As a
seeking.
girl who was raised by her father, let me tell you, dads don't know everything. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
And they're looking for people to like, can you tell my daughter
Yes.
how to do this? Because I
Uh-huh.
don't know. And so that's why I wanted it to be a safe space for young girls to come in. And then with my nonprofit, we feed track teams because track teams are out there all day long
Yeah.
and they don't get to eat until they get to go home. That's like the only meal they might get. So between lunch and when the track meet's over, they're starving. So some schools can afford to have snacks. And then we do that. And then I also have a program where we provide sports bra education and sports bras for young female athletes. Because sports bras for us is essential. Some are more blessed than others. I fall in the blessed category. So I understand like not having the support that you need and how it plays on their confidence when it comes to sports.
Yeah.
So I deal with that. And then I'm just an entrepreneur, just touching anything that I actually be like, oh, that sounds cool. Let me try it.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't like that. Okay, let me try this. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. I think I might keep
Yeah.
this. So
Oh, cool. That's
Yeah.
Good for you.
yeah, that's a great way to do it.
Yeah. No kidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's fascinating to hear your story. I'm so curious about. I have a friend, Misty May Trainer, who
Mhm.
can't remember what year she won at beach. She was beach volleyball.
Okay, yeah.
I forget her partner's name. Anyway, was it? I thought it was somebody different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just remember like thinking that the whole Olympic thing is so because you have to be considered an amateur, but at some point that switched, right? To where
Yeah, so the now is how it's set up. The Olympic movement itself, the Olympic Games is an amateur event.
right.
You do not get paid for the Olympic Games.
But you can still be like you could sign a contract with Nike and
Yes.
still be
And
able to
still
participate
be
in
able
the
to
Olympics.
talk. Yes.
But that wasn't always the case.
No, you could not participate in the Olympic Games and be any kind of professional athlete.
Right.
It changed in, I want to say, 1987.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere in there, it
Yeah.
changed.
But it was
Yeah.
also fucked up. Like that's weird. Like, come on, man.
It's for the Olympics to still be an amateur movement and to not get paid by the Olympic Committee, and you have all these Olympic athletes that dedicate their lives to this.
right.
It's still not fair.
Because we think about like, oh, like the dream team playing. Like that
Right.
no. This is not the Olympics is not all the dream team. It's like
Right.
people like you that are
Yes.
working their asses off to try to represent their country
Yeah.
and then to not be able to be compensated for it.
No.
Because people look at like that the dream team, right? They they make plenty of money. They're just
Yeah.
gonna play for their
And-
country.
but
But not everyone.
Not everybody do. Everybody
Yeah.
think the Olympic Games is like glitz and glamour,
yeah.
and it's not.
Do they have a bunch of condoms in the Olympic?
Oh my
Village?
gosh.
Olympic
Okay,
Village.
so let me explain
Please,
why.
please.
They do.
They do?
I'm gonna just say they do. But what happens is there was an article that came out for the 2000 Olympic Games in Sydney, Australia, and they counted and calculated like all the condoms that were used. And so, but considered used was they put these big buckets out and people just take them.
Okay.
And so you have
Okay.
countries who their resources where condoms are not available to them in that way, or they people who come from third world countries.
Yeah.
So when they have access to free condoms, they're taking them.
yeah.
And so
doesn't
that's
mean
what
they were
they're-
So they're
necessarily
stocking
using
up.
them.
They're
stocking up
putting
to
them in
take
there.
home,
Yeah. Okay.
And people are considering that they were just having sex. It's an
Yeah.
orgy at the Olympic Games. Like
Right.
no,
Right.
You got to understand, like the Olympic Games is a one in a lifetime experience for some countries. And they will never have touched or been anywhere like this if it wasn't for the Olympic Games. So when they get the free resources, they're taking it
Any
all.
of it. Like they're taking all the
All.
souvenirs. I'll
All
take
of
some
them.
condoms and some
Water,
sticky
Coca-Cola.
notes, whatever.
No, they take it all. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're available. It's not a big orgy. People are focused because they got to make money and get their medal. So it's not what y'all think.
That's funny.
Okay,
Well,
good to know.
I'm glad we got to
Good
clear that
know.
up.
Yes.
Well, Michelle, it was so awesome having you on. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank
Let
you
us
so
know if
much.
there's, like things we can do to support all of your things that you're doing to help, especially, young girls and all that kind of stuff. Please let us know if
Yes,
there's
I
something
will.
we can
Yeah.
do to help.
Yeah,
We
thank you for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah, of
appreciate it.
course. Of course.
Okay, we end every episode by pointing or looking at our camera and doing the peace signs and saying
Okay.
"Mom game out." It's kind of cheesy,
Okay,
but
that's
just
fine.
double
just
peace
ride with
sign.
it. Yeah, just ride with us. So we'll
All
go on
right.
the count of 3.
Okay.
It's your on the
All
count of
right.
3. 1, 2, 3.
Mom
Game
game
out.
The Mom Game is proud to partner with local Geico offices, Victoria Elliott, proudly serving your local community.